Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, because what I'm about to reveal will completely shift the way you see yourself and how women perceive you. Imagine this: you meet a woman you're genuinely interested in. She smiles, laughs at your jokes, seems into you, and within minutes, something changes. You feel it too. That spark that could have lit a connection just fizzles. And you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? The truth is, men are doing things every single day that unknowingly make them instantly unattractive. And it's not what you think. It's not about money, looks, or even confidence. It's deeper, rooted in subtle behaviors and energy that women pick up on instantly. Women are wired to read signals, to detect weakness, insecurity, and lack of respect, sometimes before you even say a word. And the scary part? Most men don't even realize they're sending these signals. They think being funny, being smart, or being nice is enough. But it's not. Being nice doesn't guarantee attraction. In fact, it can destroy it if it's paired with other subtle mistakes. Women are drawn to energy, presence, and authenticity. When a man's energy is off, when he's constantly seeking validation, when he over-explains himself or fears judgment, it's a turn-off at a primal level. And here's the thing: these behaviors are invisible to you because you've been conditioned to believe that being agreeable, polite, and accommodating is good behavior. But for attraction, it's deadly, and it doesn't matter if you're fit, successful, or charming. A single misalignment in your energy can trigger an instinctive no in a woman's mind. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back the curtain on the exact behaviors that erase attraction before it even has a chance to grow, and I'm going to teach you how to stop doing them without pretending to be someone you're not. If you stay with me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at yourself, your interactions, or the way women perceive you the same way again. Let's get real for a moment. The first major killer of attraction is neediness. And I don't just mean texting too much or asking for constant reassurance. I mean the subtle, invisible neediness that leaks from your energy without a word. It shows up in over-apologizing, over-explaining, or trying too hard to impress. It shows up when you feel desperate for approval or when your value is dependent on her validation. Women can sense this immediately, and it kills attraction faster than anything else. You might think being available and attentive is charming, but when it's motivated by insecurity, it signals low self-worth and attraction dies. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women don't just want a nice guy. They want a man who is anchored, grounded, confident in who he is, someone who has a life that doesn't revolve around their approval. When you're constantly bending yourself to fit her expectations, you lose your magnetism. And this isn't just theory, it's hardwired psychology. Subtle cues like hesitating before you speak, second-guessing yourself, or trying to predict her desires make her brain subconsciously categorize you as safe. In other words, a friend. You're literally invisible as a sexual being. Another killer is overthinking. Men who analyze every text, every reaction, every pause, are broadcasting anxiety. And anxiety is unattractive. Women are drawn to calm, decisive energy. When you're stuck in your head, she can feel it. It's not fair, but attraction isn't about fairness. It's primal. And the worst part, most men think their insecurity is hidden. It isn't. Energy speaks louder than words. And then there's self-sabotage, the subtle behaviors you think are harmless. Interrupting her stories, checking your phone, not maintaining boundaries, hesitating to voice your desires. All of these erode attraction over time. They whisper to her subconscious, "He isn't fully here. He isn't confident. He isn't the man I need." And that whisper becomes a thought. And that thought becomes a decision, often before she even consciously knows why. By the end of today, you're going to understand these invisible codes that women read, and more importantly, how to correct them without forcing yourself into a fake persona. The first step is awareness, knowing what's happening beneath the surface so you can reclaim control over your presence, your energy, and your attractiveness. Now let's talk about communication, because this is where most men unknowingly sabotage themselves. Words are only part of it. Your tone, timing, and subtle cues carry far more weight than what you say. One of the biggest mistakes men make is over-explaining themselves. You ask a question, she gives a short answer, and suddenly you feel the need to justify, clarify, or elaborate endlessly. Every extra word, every excuse, every attempt to prove yourself chips away at your masculinity. Women don't respond to explanations. They respond to confidence. Another silent killer is agreeability. Constantly agreeing, nodding, or deferring to her opinions might feel polite, but it signals a lack of inner authority. Attraction is triggered by someone who stands firm, who has opinions, boundaries, and the courage to express them. When you avoid tension at all costs, you remove sexual friction, and friction is the spark of desire. Then there's emotional volatility. Men who overreact, get jealous easily, or express insecurity under stress send a primal red flag. Women aren't just reading your words, they're reading your nervous system. Calmness under pressure, the ability to regulate emotion, and the capacity to remain composed are magnetizing. And here's something most men overlook. Non-verbal communication dominates everything. Your posture, eye contact, energy, and even the pace of your speech scream more than any sentence. Slouching, fidgeting, avoiding gaze. These are silent signals of low value. Then there's humor and the deadly misstep men make with it. Using humor to mask insecurity, to overcompensate, or to seek approval is another attraction killer. True charm comes from effortless playfulness, light teasing, and an inner sense of security, not from trying to make her laugh at the expense of your own credibility. And here's the kicker. All of these communication mistakes are invisible to most men. You don't see the pattern because it's habitual. You don't feel the energy because it's internalized. Women, however, notice immediately. Your energy communicates every doubt, every need, every fear. The question is, are you willing to confront the uncomfortable truth that attraction isn't just about what you do? It's about who you are, how you move through the world, and how your presence impacts hers on a deep, almost unconscious level. Because until you fix the way you communicate, both verbally and non-verbally, no amount of game will make her desire you. Let's dive deeper, because what's invisible on the surface is often the most destructive. Your mindset is quietly killing your attraction long before you even open your mouth. Most men operate from a scarcity mentality, the fear that if she doesn't like them, they'll never find someone else. This energy is palpable. Women instinctively detect desperation and insecurity, and it triggers a primal no. Even subtle traces of this fear, checking your phone obsessively, hesitating to express what you want, overcommitting to her time, it all screams low value. Here's the harsh truth. Attraction isn't a reward for being good enough. It's a reflection of your inner state, your confidence, and your ability to command your own life. Another hidden trap is self-doubt, masquerading as humility. Saying things like, "I don't know if I'm good enough for you," or constantly seeking reassurance, broadcasts low self-esteem. Women want a man who is anchored in himself, not a man who is emotionally dependent on their validation. And then there's fear of conflict. Avoiding disagreement, people-pleasing, or holding back your authentic opinions might feel safe, but it erodes attraction. Women are drawn to men who have boundaries, opinions, and the courage to challenge them respectfully. This isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. Over time, these mindset traps compound. A man can look confident, successful, or charming on the surface. But if his internal state is rooted in fear, neediness, or self-doubt, women feel it unconsciously. Attraction dies in seconds, often without explanation. Here's the secret most men never hear. Attraction is magnetic when it's rooted in presence, self-possession, and emotional sovereignty. Women don't just respond to what you say or do, they respond to the energy you emit, the man you are internally. If your internal narrative is, "I need her to like me," instead of "I am whole and I choose her presence," you're already losing. And the brutal part? Awareness alone isn't enough. You must actively rewire these subconscious patterns. This means confronting your fears, stepping into discomfort, and consistently embodying the energy of a man who is not shaken by judgment, rejection, or uncertainty. It's not easy, but it's the difference between being invisible and being magnetic. The men who master this mindset become the ones women instinctively desire. the ones who command attention without even trying. The rest. They remain stuck, wondering why attraction fades, unable to see the invisible forces at play. Now, let's uncover the subtle behaviors in everyday interactions that destroy attraction, often without men even realizing it. The first is inconsistency. Women are wired to detect reliability, predictability, and stability. If one day you're attentive and confident, and the next you're distant, anxious, or overly eager, her brain flags it as uncertainty. That uncertainty kills desire. Then there's validation seeking. Constantly fishing for compliments, approval, or reassurance is a silent repellent. Women want a man who stands in his own value, not one whose worth depends on their feedback. Another invisible killer is oversharing too soon. Pouring your emotional baggage, insecurities, or life frustrations on her in early interactions triggers subconscious alarm signals. Attraction thrives on mystery, confidence, and gradual vulnerability, not instant emotional dumping. Subtle disrespect is another massive turnoff. Interrupting her, talking over her, or dismissing her perspective might seem minor, but women pick up on these micro signals and classify you as low value almost immediately. And here's a nuance most men miss. Your lifestyle communicates your value far more than your words. Are you passionate, driven, and engaged in life, or are you passive, reactive, and consumed by worry? Energy like that is magnetic or repelling. There's no in-between. Next is dependency disguised as generosity, doing too much too early, constantly giving, accommodating, or bending to her schedule. Without maintaining boundaries communicates desperation. Attraction requires a balance of generosity and self-respect. Then there's the energy you bring into spaces. Tension, stress, nervousness, and low self-esteem radiate outward. Women feel it in subtle ways, your gestures, pacing, micro-expressions. Even the way you laugh, walk, or hold yourself communicates value. Lastly, avoidance of sexual tension is a hidden killer. Hesitating to escalate, nervousness around physicality, or being overly polite kills desire instantly. Attraction thrives on controlled tension, playfulness, and confident pursuit. Women don't consciously analyze every behavior. They feel the energy, the alignment, and the presence of a man who is secure, magnetic, and fully alive. These are not tricks, they're reflections of your internal state. Every subtle misstep communicates low value, while every grounded action communicates confidence, authenticity, and desirability. Once you recognize these invisible behaviors, you can shift them, align your energy, and instantly become the man women instinctively desire. Finally, let's tie everything together because this is where transformation happens. The men who become instantly attractive don't rely on tricks, lines, or temporary confidence boosts. They embody principles that are visible in every gesture, every word, and every thought. First, they master self-possession. Their happiness, energy, and value aren't dependent on anyone else. Not a woman, not approval, not validation. This doesn't make them cold or unkind. It makes them magnetic. Women are drawn to men who are whole, who are not seeking completion from anyone else. Next, they embrace authenticity without apology. They speak their truth, hold their opinions, and express their desires confidently. They don't over-explain or bend to avoid conflict. This isn't arrogance, it's clarity, strength, and the energy of a man who knows himself. Presence is another invisible yet critical factor. The most attractive men move through the world intentionally. They listen deeply, respond thoughtfully, and inhabit their bodies with calm, controlled energy. Women feel this immediately, often before a word is exchanged. Emotional mastery is equally powerful. Men who can regulate their emotions, manage tension, and remain composed under pressure exude a magnetic stability that is irresistible. Anxiety, overreaction, or emotional volatility is instantly off-putting, but calm, collected energy draws women in like gravity. Then there's the art of subtle sexual tension. The men women desire understand the balance of push and pull, of playful challenge and gentle pursuit. They escalate naturally, confidently, without fear of rejection or judgment. Finally, alignment of lifestyle and purpose is essential. Men who are driven, passionate, and engaged in life communicate value effortlessly. They are busy building their vision, yet they include women in ways that are meaningful, not desperate. When a man integrates self-possession, authenticity, presence, emotional mastery, confident sexual tension, and purpose-driven energy, he becomes untouchably attractive. These aren't surface-level tricks. They are deep, internal shifts that radiate outward, transforming how women perceive him instantly. No act, charm, or gimmick can replace these truths. And the good news, every man can cultivate them. Awareness, practice, and daily embodiment create the magnetic energy that women instinctively recognize. Attraction is not about changing who you are. It's about becoming fully aligned with the man you're meant to be. Start today, and you'll never be invisible again.